The 8th gen Civic SI has a lot of things going for it. Has a great engine, decent shifter, charming interior, but there's one thing that I think everybody can agree needs some help, and that is the suspension. In this video, we're going to do a modest overhaul on the entire car. We're going to do coilovers, a rear sway bar, camber arms, alignments, which this all took place over the course of a couple weeks, so I'm gonna try to do my best to kind of recap. And so let's start with the biggest purchase, which is the coilovers. We are going to be running An-X suspension coilovers. I'll talk a little bit more about these later on, but I'm really excited to test these out. Now, this is not going to be a super instructional video. There's a lot of guides online. I mean, this car's old, so there's like, seriously, anything you want to know, there's some sort of guide online. But really, I'm just going to get into this and tear it apart, and I'm really hoping that this car is going to be just completely transformed at the end of the day. I actually originally saw these in a Speed Academy video. I then reached out to Speed Academy themselves. Dave got back to me, basically said that these are actually like a really good option. They add a lot of great things into like a fairly decent priced coilover. They have helper springs, which is great. They have a bit of rubber between the spring and the top hat basically to reduce NVH. That's really helpful, especially as a daily driver. Obviously they have camber adjustability, and overall, the build quality looks pretty good. We're gonna have to see how they ride. I'm not sure. This is incredibly heavy. It's for sure just all steel, which is fine. It's just, you know, if you're going for a motorsports build, maybe upgrade to their track coilover, or yeah, get a lighter one, because this is definitely very heavy. It's also worth mentioning that I did reach out to them and they wanted to help me and you guys out if you did want to get some coilovers. So you can use the coupon code PATTYBOY. You save some money, you help the channel. So if you are interested, definitely, yeah, give it a shot. We're gonna see how they ride, so maybe hold off to buy them until the end of the video, but yeah, we'll see how they go. With the coilovers installed, I also now need to have adjustable camber in the rear. This car does not come with adjustable camber because it's a Civic. It's as much as people don't want to hear this, it's a Civic, it's a commuter car. So I had to add KTuned rear camber arms. These are beautiful. The finish is like better than any car that I've owned, to be honest. So these look amazing. Too bad we're not gonna be able to see them. Those are pretty easy to install. I kind of just eyeballed the length, and the alignment that we did was, again, it was just an eyeball to kind of get it to the shop. Now that we have coilovers, we've got our camber under control, now it's time for something that I think all front wheel drive cars need. We have a big rear sway bar. This is from Progress. And we also have all of these sway bar needs and attachments, as well as new end links. This should get the car to rotate pretty nicely on track. I pulled off the stock sway bar. It's actually like the easiest thing in the world. You just keep the end links attached and you just pull off the one that actually attaches to the car. Comparing it to the Progress sway bar, this one's definitely a lot thicker for sure. It's a lot heavier, and it does have adjustability. So there's 3 holes here. That's how you basically adjust how hard the bar technically is. Now, Progress includes a bunch of hardware, some of which is used for, I believe, the non-SI Civic. So I think this is what that's for. Other plates are more for reinforcement. Civics have an issue of ripping sway bar attachments off, so I think that's what this is for. Comes with all new hardware, which is really nice because I'm just gonna keep this stock bar all intact. Comes with new end links too, so overall a pretty nice kit, and yeah, we're just gonna plug it in. However, it didn't really go that great. The fitment was not good. The Civic has kind of these subframe protrusions, I guess, that the stock sway bar is designed around. However, Progress, I think that they chose to sacrifice some fit and finish for strength, because anytime you add bends to a bar, you're technically making it a little bit softer than a straight bar, but I don't know, it's just not great. So I ended up replacing it with an Eibach rear sway bar that had perfect fitment, a little bit less aggressive. So I have the Eibach on top and the Progress below. Looking at them, there's a drastic difference. Number one, the Progress sway bar is substantially thicker. And number 2, the Eibach actually has what look like proper cutouts, whereas the Progress doesn't. The Progress had great fitment on this part, but as soon as you got to right here, it didn't have the necessary cutout to not touch the actual frame of the car. Now, I'm not saying that you cannot run the Progress sway bar. You absolutely can, and I did. But I like that it doesn't actually hit the chassis of the car. I think that's kinda dumb, to be honest. Now, I will say, if you're building a car for like actual speed, if you're gonna be building a track car, I would go with the Progress and just accept that it's gonna, you know, rub a little bit, because this is substantially thicker than the Eibach sway bar. In my opinion, I think as a daily driver setup, I think I'm going to enjoy the Eibach a lot more. I think it makes more sense. The fitment is better, it's a little bit less aggressive, and overall, it's also cheaper. So we're gonna go ahead and throw this on real quick, and hopefully that should make this car rotate a little bit better. So with all of those parts on, we did a quick alignment just by hand, took it to a shop, got it aligned. There's actually a really good write-up by Redshift Motorsports. I'll link it down below. They have a couple different like setups and they explain everything, which is really nice, especially for someone like myself who doesn't really know a lot about this platform. I ended up going with their aggressive street alignment, and yeah, it feels pretty decent so far. It's definitely conservative, and I'll probably dial in some more negative camber in the front. I have a feeling it's gonna need some more help kind of rotating around corners, but for now, yeah, let's take it for a drive. I should let go. So, how do these coilovers and all the suspension work that we've done, how do they feel? Well, just driving around normally, honestly, I'm really impressed with how these annex coilovers feel. I had to raise the car up quite a bit. I did actually have it lower than what you guys saw in the shots before, but I ended up raising it up, and that really helped out the ride quality. So keep that in mind if you want to have like that super low fitment. You're probably gonna have to raise it up if you want it to, you know, actually ride well. But now that it's kind of raised up, I have it at a pretty soft setting, nothing too crazy. I think it's 24-way adjustable. I'm at like 9 clicks from soft. So, you know, fairly soft setting, and it rides pretty well, honestly. I'm pretty impressed. You know, at the end of the day, this is a Civic. It's not exactly a luxury car, but hey, it takes bumps pretty damn well, and also it feels pretty good in the corners. The rear sway bar really did help a lot, kind of tightening up the rear, getting it to rotate a little bit. These shocks are a little bit louder than stock. Typically coilovers have that effect, especially this with, you know, camber plates on the top instead of like the OEM top hats. It's a little bit louder. It's definitely nothing like unbearable. I wouldn't really worry about it at all. I think that the rubber isolators that they have, I bet that actually helps a good amount, I would think. Yeah, on the highway it's nice. It takes all the Michigan bumps nice and smooth. I haven't really rubbed yet, which is great. You know, I definitely have pretty inset wheels. They're a little bit conservative in the offset. So they're definitely, yeah, they're not gonna rub. I have no worries about that taking it to the track in 2 weeks, actually. So we're gonna see how this car really drives on track in 2 weeks. I'm hoping that you know, it feels great and doesn't really have many issues handling wise. So fingers crossed. Not a whole lot of body roll, keeps it pretty composed. Doesn't give you that same feeling of the stock. You're kind of like falling out of the seat. Now the car feels a little bit more planted, which is nice. As always, we're merging an active highway at 30 miles per hour. My God, I hate when people do that. You're supposed to be like flooring it when you get on the highway, and most people just are fine entering at like 30 miles per hour. It's ridiculous. The alignment is also very nice to drive on. You don't get a lot of the steering wheel moving about when you hit bumps or, you know, divots in the road. It doesn't like, a lot of times when you have negative camber, it'll kind of move around with the road. This is fairly conservative, so definitely a nice feeling alignment. I think that it will need a lot more front camber on track to kind of prevent understeering. I have a feeling it's going to understeer a lot. I think I've already kind of felt that on the street, so I have a feeling it's going to be the same on track. Yeah. So would I recommend these annex coilovers? I think I definitely would. They have a lot of good features that not of the other. I don't know. I don't think a lot of the other like mid-range coilovers have as many features. So I think they're a good option. Also, real quick, I'm editing this video right now. I wanted to mention one thing on the coilovers that I actually forgot to mention like in the video when I was installing them. That's kind of important. Okay, so I think the only fitment issue that I have is actually with this line here, which I think is the ABS sensor. So it has a pre-drilled hole for it. However, it basically, any way you can put it in, it contacts right there. If you do it like this, well then there's too much stress on the line here. So it doesn't really go in naturally, which is kind of unfortunate. So I think I'm going to kind of trim this bit up so it can fit in like this, because this is how it was oriented in the stock form, which obviously does not touch the line, which is ideal. So I'm going to trim this up. So yeah, I definitely would recommend them. And yeah, if you guys want to use the code, feel free. If not, all good, understandable. But yeah, I'm very happy with how the car feels. With the transmission, man, it's a very smooth car now. I mean, my shocks were, I had a blown shock in the rear, and I realized that was causing a lot of like bump steer feeling. And now that I have, you know, obviously 2 brand new shocks, the car feels fantastic over bumps. There's no weird noises, no weird steering. It's great. And now with the shifter, I mean, you could just kind of bang as many gears as you want. It feels good. Feels good. I'm excited for an intake. So I have a hybrid racing intake that I'm waiting to put on. It's just taking some time, but I think that's really going to make this car just sound so much better. Alright, so that's going to do it for today's video. I am very, very happy with how the car feels. I think this suspension overhaul was a massive success. The car feels amazing, it shifts amazing now, and I'm really excited to take it to the track. This thing is going to just absolutely rip on track. I am pumped up. So I'm really excited to make that video and really kind of learn a front-wheel drive car on track. I'm pumped. I want to speed up time to get there. So anyway, hope you guys are excited for that video. Thank you a bunch for watching and supporting the channel, the Honda Civic, the Elantra N. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to posting every single video to see what you guys think. And with that, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you guys soon.